Good morning. Welcome to episode 77 of Take a Break with Adam Walker and Andrew Reid.
Okay, sorry, I was just thinking, I just had a flashback. I played, do you play bingo? I played bingo. I did bingo the other week. It was a fundraiser thing. I haven't done bingo since being a kid.
Yeah.
And I went, and I was trying to remember what 77 is to something, no, that's not. Anyway, I was like, something heaven, 77? Or was that number 7? Anyway, little digression there this morning. I played bingo the other week. It was really good fun. Have you played bingo?
No.
Honestly.
It's not my thing, unfortunately.
Well, I thought it wasn't my thing, but I got given a dabber.
A dabber, yes, that's what it's called, an official word, the dabber.
It was like a family thing. So we had the kids around it. It was brilliant. I had such a good time. Honestly, I couldn't recommend.
Who won?
None of us won, and the same family on that table over there kept winning all the prizes, and the prizes were Easter eggs. They had like an army of Easter eggs.
Did they give any away?
No. No. And we didn't win the raffle either. The same family then won raffle prizes. We were like...
Fix?
Yeah, exactly.
Bless, it wasn't a fix for that.
No, it wasn't a fix. It wasn't a fix. But, sorry, it just took me back to my bingo.
All right, fine. Just
do you know what? It's a little thing. So I know we're take a break. Welcome, everybody.
Take over my intro. It's fine, mate. Go on.
That's fine. Well, you kind of petered out anyway.
I lost the track.
But it was like it was just kind of family activity.
Great.
Family bingo. It was like raising money.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I had a great time.
Yeah, good for you. How's your week been?
My week has been...
I don't think I've seen you.
Yeah, well, I've been in and out.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm slightly behind this morning, so apologies, because I've had like everything to bring back in.
Yeah.
Alina can vouch for me how chaotic it's been, because I walked in yesterday, came and sat at my desk and went... Oh, not yesterday, it was the day before, there's a point.
Yeah.
Sat at my desk and went... I don't have a computer because I've left it at home in the bag because I forgot, because normally I leave it in the office.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I had a meeting. I took the computer for the meeting, put it in the bag, forgot to bring the bag back in the next day.
So that was a productive morning you had?
It was, because luckily I have a very reliable IT provider.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we have another laptop in the office.
You do?
Which I logged into my Office 365 account through all the security protocols. And guess what?
It was just there.
It was just there.
Nice.
And it just worked. So it wasn't a wasted morning at all.
Oh, well, there you
so
go.
There we go. A bit of feedback.
And
I've been out photographing. I've been out filming. I've been here, there and everywhere. I was at the Riverside Stadium on Wednesday for Sport England, photographing an event.
Nice.
It's been a very busy one.
And I think I was about to say, can I also add that young Adam's been off this week, so it's been doubly hectic.
I've put a present on his desk when he gets back.
What is it?
It's a picture of me. I was sorting out some... I got my Chartered Marketer certificate through this week again. Yeah, so that's like 5th year.
Well done, sir. Well done.
And as I was sorting that out, I found a photograph of me, which I remember I did for a laugh to put on Natalie's desk a few years ago.
Yes.
And it hasn't seen the light of day for ages, so... I've put it back in action. It is currently sat on Adam's desk, and someone's already commented, it's really good. You must be a good boss when your employees have got pictures of you on your desk. So that's my week. It's been rather busy.
Yeah, ours has been really busy as well.
Yeah.
We've had Dan off. He celebrated his birthday last week.
Okay.
I know.
You're getting soft.
Yeah, so it has been pretty manic for me and Michelle. It has been the dream team. So we've had Eddie. Eddie was off the other day as well. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday. It was basically just me and Michelle tackling the world, but it was good. Wednesday, Dan was back, and Eddie was back. So we cracked on, and then this morning, I've picked up. So I think I've mentioned on the podcast we're getting a new apprentice.
Yep.
So Liam is starting the 1st of May, I believe.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
Yeah, 1st of May. However, he rang us up last week.
Did he?
And we're like, hello, Liam. How can we help you? He went, I know I'm not starting till the 1st of May, but can I pop in on the odd day to work with you? I was like, absolutely.
Good on him.
He's here today.
Is he?
He's here today. I picked him up this morning and he's buzzing.
Is he? Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's
brilliant.
nice. So we said, we can't pay you. No, I just want to hit the ground running 1st of May.
Experience beforehand.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
Yeah, that's really.
So it's really nice. Yeah, exactly.
People having time. I mean, I'm joking about people having time off. It's important. I've got some time off scheduled in a few weeks' time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Good.
But, I've been working though on my. So, did a photo job yesterday morning. So take you through my week.
Yeah.
As it leads to what's on this piece of paper.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
When you told me, because he did prime me.
I did prime you.
He didn't give me the sheet.
No.
I'll come on to the topic.
Yeah.
So my week, I was out a meeting on a branding project on. Let me get my days right. Tuesday afternoon. The days have been all over this week.
I can imagine.
Tuesday afternoon, I was out on a branding project.
Right.
That was when I took the computer. That is when I then forgot the computer and came in on Wednesday, but that was fine. Managed to then take a meeting, do the meeting on another branding project. I was working on that. Then I went and photographed at the Riverside Stadium. Had a stadium tour, by the way. Incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah, I've had that a couple of years ago, but it was very
fantastic.
nice.
So did the photos, came home, straight to home, because it was late on. Backed up all the files to my desktop PC.
Yeah.
Worked on that. They were backed up and saved. And then I went straight to a job yesterday morning.
Oh, right, okay.
Flew the drone.
Yeah.
Did that. And by the time I got out of the job, it was about 1:15. So I was like, I'm on school pickup. I went straight back home and worked on my desktop PC.
Yep.
Then I had notifications on my desktop PC, and it said something to the effect of, is it October? In October, Windows 10 is no longer supported.
Absolutely, my friend. The topic for today. Well done.
So my desktop computer is on Windows 10.
Yeah.
It is an editing rig. It's absolutely, I love it. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. However, I have a problem.
You do have a problem, sir.
And I have tried pressing the button, because there is a button
To
on
say
this. Upgrade. And then it says computer says no.
Yeah.
So that leads us nicely
Thank you very
into
kindly.
today. So tell me what we're talking about today.
We are definitely talking about the end of Windows 10. It is saying goodbye, au revoir, in October 2025. Like all operating systems in any world that you think of, Apple, Android, whatever like that, eventually an operating system has to retire. Basically, it either comes to its end of its life in terms of hardware support, in terms of software support, but I think you'll agree, we live in a world where constantly changing. Moore's Law, see, I remembered it straight off the top of my head.
That.
Moore's Law.
The doubling of capacity of the number of transistors. Try again. Doubling capacity of the number of transistors you can have on a circuit board, I believe.
Yeah, it's something like that. It was a long time ago, but iterations nowadays is actually quite fast. There are downsides to that. It's a very, very nasty double-edged sword, and we'll come on to that. But yeah, basically...
So it's going to cost me money, is what you told me, Andy.
Effectively, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's expected.
It is expected.
Things don't last forever, right?
Think of it as a car. Yeah, have a house, car, fridge.
Yeah.
You know, you keep on using it, but eventually there comes a point where it sadly has to be retired. So this is what the topic is today. What can businesses do to prepare themselves for the end of Windows 10? And what can home users do? Because obviously that's a bigger, other users might have a Windows 10 home right now, not a business PC, but it's a personal PC to do their work on.
Yeah, and I think it's probably quite easy to overlook it as a personal computer. Now, obviously, my machine at home is a work machine that I use.
Yeah.
And it's important to me because it's my home office when I can work from home and this, that, and the other. But also, I think it's easy to overlook a sort of your own machines, basically.
They do, my friend, and I think somebody mentioned it to me the other day that it's just a home machine. But what I say to them is I'm like, okay, fine, it's just a home machine. What do you have on it? Emails. Okay. What emails do you get? Well, I get my electricity bill, I get my gas bill, I use it for my rent, I use it for my council tax, I use it for this. I'm like, okay, so it is a home machine, but actually if I took it away, oh, no. I pay my bank online. I book my holidays online. So it's important. It is a part of, I think, in this day and age, it's part of the family. Yeah, it really is. Basically, if we think about businesses for now, one of the things that I want to pick up on is that how can businesses prepare? It's October 2025 that it ends up. So what is that?
Let's rephrase that. How can Adam prepare? Because
how come Adam prepare?
Because I've clicked the button.
You click the button and it will say no.
And it says it doesn't. No. It says you can't do this basically. So
let's work on how can you do it.
Look at my current position. I think that's a really good example.
Exactly.
I know I need to invest in some stuff. I know I probably need to open up the computer maybe.
Yes. Right. So
fire away.
Fire away. There's a couple of things that we need to pick up on. The biggest issue that we've got is that Windows 11 is now, it's supposedly proportionally more secure. Okay, and it uses security in a TPM chip. I think we've mentioned this before.
Yep.
Trusted Platform Module.
And this is where not only me, but people of the world glaze over.
Glaze over.
And
'cause
go,
like, why?
TPM.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
exactly.
So TPM,
Yeah.
give us a clue.
It's a trusted platform module, and basically it stores a lot of the security, a lot of the passwords, a lot of the diggings around in the screen, and it stores it in this chip because this chip can't be affected. It can't be messed with. The biggest thing that it's used for is BitLocker.
Yep.
So BitLocker is a way to encrypt your drive. And as I would say, and I think as most IT people would say, you not only encrypt the drive, but you encrypt it on startup to ask for either a digit, 10 digit is what I recommend, or a security key.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just pause on that point. Most people say to me, home PC, even a home PC, a home laptop, not worth BitLockering. Okay, and I go, if I steal that PC from you now, what's on it? Well, my life's on it. My photographs, my emails, blah, 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 blah. I'll be protected with the password, and I'm like, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and I can basically crack your password. And that's not guessing it, Adam. There are legitimate pieces of software out there, as you can imagine, where somebody will be going, oh my gosh, I've lost my password. I need to get onto this machine. I need to get the data off it. There is legitimate software out there that will help you bypass the password. And I've used it legitimately all my life because of users. You may come to me and go, my son's laptop, no idea, I need to get onto it. 10 minutes later, there you go. What do you want the new password to be? So some people say, oh my goodness me, that's very bad. When used in the right way, ethically, I think it's a really good tool.
Yeah, I think if you compare it to cycling, parking your bike up, using a cable lock, or using a D-lock.
Yes, exactly.
The D-lock is steel. It's going to require very hefty stuff. The cable lock's going to stop the opportunist, that's like your password, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
I suppose this chip that you're on about starts becoming the D-lock.
Starts becoming the D-lock. With a BitLocker password, okay, with a BitLocker encryption, if I steal the machine, no matter what I do, the data is encrypted. Because the D-lock, the TPM is going, what's the 10-digit password?
Yep.
And there's no way that I can get into a physical chip, open it up and go, aha! I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
My favourite one was password W.
Yes.
That was it.
That was just it. W. W. Next.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, that is W. So yeah. So even if I steal the device, your data is absolutely intact. Okay, you've lost the device, Adam. But that's life, unfortunately.
Yeah. Back your stuff up.
Yeah, well, I'm coming onto that as well. But absolutely cannot be done. So yes, you've lost your device, but you can absolutely guarantee your data's safe. So that is the biggest one, if you know what I mean. There are other things that Windows 11 is taking into account. Your chip, your CPU, your central processing unit. If you've got an i3 or an i5 of a lower, what's called Gen 7, 6, whatever. And basically what I'm saying is there are a lot of these things that Windows 11 takes into account and goes, it must pass that, and that before I will allow you to upgrade to Windows 11. So question for you, your desktop machine at home, estimate the date when you purchased it. So how old is it?
It's a lockdown machine, actually.
Right.
It's a lockdown machine. So in lockdown, I was having to do what it was, the demand of video going higher and higher. I was one of the fortunate ones that did manage to get a graphics card. Was it a lockdown? Was it just before lockdown? Anyway, it was around that.
Yeah.
And I needed a more hefty editing rig because the amount of video that I was churning at the time was too much for my laptop to handle.
Yeah.
The cache was just filling on my laptop, was dying. So that's what I did. So 2020.
Okay, so it's 5 years old effectively now. Yeah. I would like to say that most machines have a 5-year lifespan.
Yep.
So it's probably right about now to upgrade it.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people run them longer. I will openly say that if the machine is supported by your manufacturer, if the operating system is supported, a machine can run for 6, 7, 8 years. Like anything, a car will run up until a point where it really does get to its end of life. Yeah. You know, and I've done this as a young teenager. You buy a car and you run it until run it into the ground is the because eventually you'll go, oh, it needs an extra spring.
I'm spending so much a year
Correct.
in maintenance that I may as well
buy a new car.
Buy a new car.
Or buy another car. The same with the computer. So the downside with the computer is that the operating system is also the bit that runs on it. Let's face it, when you boot up the machine, and this applies to a Mac as well as a Windows, it's what you're used to. Your Mac, what's the latest one now? Sequoia? Something like that, yeah. Windows 10, Windows 11 is the latest one. Unfortunately, those the operating system people, Microsoft, Apple, they will choose to go, I can't support that anymore. Yeah. So they now are putting all of their efforts into Windows 11, and to a point, like any company, I will say the same thing to you, Adam. If you are supporting, let's say, WordPress, I'm making this up.
Yeah.
Let's say your WordPress or Joomla, which was a very popular WordPress equivalent, but I believe it's now no longer, as popular. But let's say that you were supporting Joomla back in the day. You now support, you were supporting WordPress. WordPress began to climb, and you're like, I'm getting less and less and less customers on Joomla. It's costing you time and money to maintain both.
Yeah.
Eventually, you would turn around to your potential customers that are still on Joomla going, look, you really need to jump to WordPress. You really need to jump to Windows 11.
Yeah.
Because it's costing you time and money
Absolutely.
to keep them both supported.
And I think just to add some, what is my Windows 10 experience like? Well, it's spot on.
Yeah.
Currently, absolutely spot on.
Yep, it works.
Yeah, and it works really well.
It does.
It works really well. But obviously, they're looking at Windows. So why would Windows do this? It's not just to make money, as people would probably jump to.
Nope.
It's all the security stuff. It's all the updates. They're kind of trying to guarantee that they can look after it. If you think about how many Windows machines are in the world,
Oh gosh, millions.
yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, it's a thing that I understand needs to happen. What's my current experience, right? Absolutely fine. So you could say, well, don't you feel a bit gutted or whatever? Because the machine works great. I'm editing stuff, doing projects, turning it out, it works really well. And then I can't upgrade to Windows 11. And it's like, should I be disheartened by it? Well, it's like, well, I'm not. It's the reality of you pay for. So we've talked about me having Adobe Cloud.
How much does it cost?
Money.
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
But that's software as a service. So I'm paying a monthly fee. And what is awesome is when I started, I was actually sorting some account stuff out yesterday, and I went in the invoices. I could see my original invoice back in 2016.
Oh my goodness me.
A lot cheaper than I'm playing now.
Yeah.
Because of team plan and stuff like this. But what's good is that version, I paid whatever to get it at the time. I was paying a monthly fee. The difference is now all the Adobe stuff has, for example, captioning in Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
I'd be editing a video. I'd have to sit, listen to the video, type it all out.
Adam said.
Yeah. Whereas now I hit a button that says transcribe track, and then it gets, I would say 90% of it there.
Yeah.
In terms of you've just then got to dive in,
Tweak.
and I just remembered. I did another video job on Monday.
Oh, goodness me, right.
Because I was transcribing this track
Yeah.
and going in and changing the wording because it doesn't often, it gets close, but it doesn't fully get there. So the difference is I'm paying a monthly fee. I am now getting access to AI stuff with Photoshop and all of this sort of thing. With Windows, it cost me, I don't know, £180 or
Whatever it
150
was.
quid, whatever it was, once,
Yep.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't feel that
Nope.
I haven't got value for money, because I have.
And you've got all the
Truth.
updates to it, all the feature
all the updates,
upgrades.
it's been supported. It's I have.
Yeah.
I've had all the benefits, and I've paid that.
That's a good analogy. That I like that.
But I think it's important to remember that, because
No, definitely.
when you're looking at software as a service or Netflix, any of these subscription things that we do, you get, like Netflix, you didn't buy one version of Netflix and then they go, right, we've actually upgraded the platform, you need to pay us again.
Yeah.
They've got their pricing plans, and you get whatever features,
Absolutely.
whatever new movies they're putting in, whatever new, that you don't, I know that the fees have changed, but it's part of your subscription. Whereas this for Windows 10, you can argue it's good value for money. You paid a one-off amount 5 years ago in my case, and now we're at the point where...
No, I totally get that. So that's a really good analogy, and you're right, we shouldn't feel aggrieved. We need to move forward, because again, the Windows 11 operating system does have more additional functionality than Windows 10 did. Yeah, and we'll go through it. We will eventually. What's in the future? Windows 12's coming. Yeah, they're already starting to look at it.
Yeah.
So that. So what are the must-do practice businesses that should adopt to ensure a seamless upgrade process? Think of it as planning a surprise birthday party. Okay, you need the guest list, you need the cake, and a backup plan if the balloons don't show up on time.
Makes sense.
Balloons are your data. Now, you touched on this.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of upgrading your existing machine, if it was compatible, one click of the button, you walk away, a couple of hours later, you come back and you go, oh, there's Windows 11.
Yeah.
All your data's there, all your programs there. Okay, it looks slightly different. There's a little bit of a where's that gone? But that's
I
an
actually
indicator.
quite like the new designs.
It's very nice. A lot of people go against it, but we're getting there. But your balloons are your data. In your case, Adam, your data is on your old machine. You will have to purchase a brand new machine, and you're going to go, how do I get the data from there over to there? If you had it in Teams and OneDrive or Google Drive, there's your advantages.
There's an interesting point. Oh, wait, I have Teams.
You have Teams. So when you were saying that you're out on your job and you came back late and then you dumped everything on your guest machine, I'm assuming that was just uploaded onto your machine, but it was eventually into Teams.
Basically, what I've done,
Right.
I'll take you through this. I've uploaded it locally for the raw files. Don't scream at me yet. So uploaded it locally to my computer,
Yep.
the raw files. I've still got the copies on the memory cards in my camera, which
Right, so now
will
it's
be
2?
Yeah. So, well, actually 3, because my cards copy
Twice.
each other. Yeah.
Good.
So there's already 2 copies. I've put one on my computer,
Yep.
just in case my bag
Absolutely.
something happened. But then what I did was I've edited the photos, and I've put the exported photos already on Teams.
Nice.
I don't need to chuck all the raw footage,
No, you don't.
because once I've got those edited photos and I'm done, I'm like, we're sorted.
So I don't need the raw
but
image.
What I do have is I'll back up the raw images today.
Correct.
To the thing. So I've already got the things in Teams. I'm going to back those up, and then I've got 2 copies.
Perfect.
So there we go.
Perfect
so
example.
That's the other way I'm going around it.
Yeah,
if that makes
exactly.
sense.
So in theory, when you get your Windows 11 machine, my friend, you will, hello Resilient,
Yeah.
buy me a new Windows 11 machine for home. I set it up, and when you log in theory, everything's there for you. Yeah.
Yep.
So all your data,
Yeah, yeah,
all your
the
things
whole
are
lot.
there.
Yep.
So balloons being the data, if you've got them backed up somewhere in the cloud, I would say,
Perfect example's Wednesday for me.
Yep.
I forgot my laptop.
you did. You forgot your laptop.
So I logged in on another machine.
And did you miss any data?
No, it was absolutely fine.
Because all you did was you went, hello Teams, hello Google Drive, I will say, and everything was there, Adam.
Yep.
Take you back probably before, God bless you, met Resilient and whatever like that. That would have been a case of bugger. I'm back off home to either collect it or, sorry, Lynn, I'm going to work from home.
It'd be messing around with portable hard disks. And, it would have been that.
It would have been
I'd
that.
Yeah, before we had Teams, I would have been able to get into my email.
Yeah, you would have done because that's on the web.
Yeah, but in terms of using Teams and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's perfect internet. So in theory, as we've said, all the data should flow. And you should literally go, hey, this is incredible, Andy. All the data's there. What most people forget, and I'm really pleased that you picked up on the cloud Adobe, is your new Windows 11 machine, you could hand it to Resilient to set up Microsoft Office. We obviously control your Office tenancy, so I could go on as the tenancy administrator, download Office on your behalf, get you to sign into Office as you. I do hold your username and password. I wouldn't be able to get in properly because I need your 2-factor authentication.
It does.
But that's fine. Again, I've got no problems with that. However, you would sit at your computer and go, where's Adobe? And I would go, I don't control that. But you would log into your Adobe account
the same thing.
Download the software. Okay? Now, interestingly, I had the exact same situation earlier this week. Hello to the lovely Red Button Marketing. I believe you were there
I saw her.
last week.
I can't remember.
It was Friday last week
well,
because I wanted to. I wanted
you
to
messaged me.
Yeah, because I went onto your machine. I went onto Mag's machine and I was like, Mags, I need to get onto your machine.
Yeah.
We'll do it at 4:00. Adam's coming over. And I went, say hi to Adam. And then I teamed you and said, say hi to Mags.
Because I was sat there and you were
beavering around the laptop.
Yeah, Mags is talking to me and his computer is doing certain things.
Certain things. So I've just had the same thing. But the interesting thing is, back in the day when you didn't have the software in the cloud, you had it on a disk.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know this from being of a certain age like me. Yeah.
Can I just segue into something? Facebook is mean.
You mean meme or mean?
Mean. Popped up going, who remembers this? And it was the screen grab from Encarta 97.
Oh my goodness me, yes.
And we used to get the Encarta series. That's your encyclopedia. For you young people, Alina, basically, you didn't have the
Wikipedia or
all the searching,
web.
all this easy searching at the time. So what they'd do is they'd release this program called Encarta, and it's like an animated thing, and it would be essentially a thesaurus.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
And you got updates.
Who remembers this? I was like, me. I remember
Very
that
mean.
minstrel.
Oh, absolutely. And how many discs?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
May as well have been the actual encyclopedia.
Exactly.
Britannica. Yeah. No, it was great.
It was great, though.
But yeah, there we go.
So there is a benefit for software being on the cloud because you could log into your Adobe account and there is the big button, download and install. Most software does that nowadays. There is few pieces of software because of either their age, their legacy pieces of software that, and I remember probably about 4 or 5 years ago when somebody came to me with that, unfortunately the machine was broken, and I was like, not a problem, we'll buy you a new machine and we'll transfer everything over. And he went, right, Auto Root 2003. And I was like, really? He went, yeah, I still use it. I'm like, okay. He said, not supported anymore. I can't get it off the web. Have you got the original discs? No. Really sorry then.
The question is, does the computer have a disk drive?
Nowadays, it doesn't, does it? Yeah. You know, if you look at a Mac, does it come with a CD? No. Does it come with a disk drive?
It doesn't come with any USB ports. The USB-Cs.
I've noticed, funnily enough, sidetracking, I've noticed nowadays as well that the latest models of Windows machines don't come with an Ethernet port. They come with a USB-C adapter that you plug in to get your Ethernet, but that's the whole idea of making them smaller.
The thing is, the USB-C plug's more versatile.
It is huge.
In our older brains, we might look at it and go, well, where's the plug? It's like, no, the USB-C is the plug, but it's just disguised as USB-C.
Absolutely. But it's much more functional nowadays.
Yeah, because you can plug multiple things into a USB-C.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I was touching on there is that most of your data will come on there. Most of your software will be downloadable from the web. It's the old legacy applications. Encarta. That's a great back thing. I love that.
I loved Encarta.
I hate Facebook now. That's very mean.
Yeah. But it was good.
So you should be able to, within a short period of time, and this is the other thing that I want to get across, Adam, I can, if let's say that you press the button and go, right, Andy, with decent desktop rig, equivalent to my one at home.
Has to have RGB on it.
Has to have RGB.
They're the lights, if everyone's
exactly.
wondering. Alina's got lights on her machine, haven't you,
She
Alina?
has, and she loves them.
Yeah.
In theory, one day you should be working on your Windows 10. I deliver your Windows 11 machine to your office. You sign into it, okay? And you go, okay, I think everything's there, Adam, and you'll go, Adobe. Fine, Andy, I control that. Can you install for me? Because I don't have the admin password because I won't let you. But that's a security reason. Sit and install. And in theory, you should then go pick up the machine, walk home, unplug your Windows 10, plug your Windows 11 in, and carry on as if nothing had changed.
Exactly.
So
beautiful.
That process, though, is for your one machine.
Yep.
Imagine a customer that's got 30 machines, and I go, 10 of these need replacing. Cost?
Have you got that at the moment?
I have. We literally have one customer. I won't give the customer's name, but I would say it's a good 40% of their machine needs replacing.
It's understandable, though, right?
As you said.
It is what it is.
They paid for them 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. They have done the job for 4 or 5 years. They have not paid any more money. They have had all the updates free of charge from Microsoft. It's now time to change. Okay? So, when your PC just won't grow up, I'd put it, because your machine can not get the Windows 11 makeover. What are the best ways to prepare the scenarios where businesses have to buy new machines? How do we ensure that transferring the data is painless? To be fair, we've already covered that.
Yep.
So for a customer, it's important to think, let's assume that I came to you in September, okay, and you were this customer, and I would go, sorry, Adam, 10 of these machines need upgrading, £500 each. And you go, what? £500 each, 10 of them. Okay, so again, it is my duty. I believe it's my job, which is why we're starting now, Adam. It's only March.
I know.
But I'm starting now because it gallops on. But also I'm saying to the customer, look, budget, plan, work it out. How many machines? If you've got 10, work them out. 10 months to go? Not really, but I'm saying one every month. That gives resilient time. It gives the users time, and we can do it in a timely fashion is what I'm getting at.
And everyone uses computers slightly differently, and it gives you time to snag all of those issues.
Absolutely, because when we do give them a Windows 11, we don't get flooded because Microsoft, to be fair to them, have done a fairly good job of making it a bit seamless. Yeah. But there are certain things where it's going, where's this now? Yeah. Why can't I do this now? It's actually subtly different. You do thanks, Andy. That's all right. So it's those types of things. The problem is that when you cannot upgrade the machine in terms of the hardware, and you don't have any of the cloud-based solutions to keep their data safe, it is a huge job for Resilient. Now, as much as I think I've got most of my customers on board, so the one thing that catches us out every single time is that, and you must be, I will hazard a guess, you must be guilty of this, but in the right way, if you know what I mean. Yep. Let's assume that all the data's in Teams. You've transferred, migrated over to Windows 10, and then you go, there was a file on my desktop. It was temporary.
Hands going up.
Yeah, it was temporary, but it's never temporary, is it? Because it lives there. You've saved it there for ease of use. I totally get it, but then I go, well, wasn't it stored in Teams? I just saved it on my desktop.
Do you know what I'm doing now? I've worked hard on this.
Yeah.
I have an empty desktop policy.
Good lad. Good lad.
Yeah, so my desktop.
Yeah.
Yes, there's I was working on colour charts for branding the other day, so I'm in the Adobe Colour tool. To look at complementary colours or opposite colours and this, that and the other. So I'm getting screen grabs because that is the easiest, quickest way. So that is about the limit of what I need to do. Or if someone, I don't know, say they want to attend a workshop and they go, hey, fill out this form. And I'm like, can't it just be like a Teams form? You've got to download it, fill it out, send it back. But then that's done. But yeah, I on all my machines that I work on, I have an empty desktop policy, and actually I've been setting my desktops to black.
Yeah, so you can see things very easily.
But just like
minimal,
less distraction. It's like I spend my life getting notifications galore. my computer, I literally the home machine anyway. It's a black desktop. I just want to
there are, if we gently touch on the home user, if you use iTunes or if you use OneDrive, there are free packages out there. The benefit of using OneDrive is that it will sync your desktop, your downloads, your music, your videos, and your photographs. So even if you have to jump to a new machine, I've seen it before where, and God bless I will say I've got some very close residential customers. They are of a certain age. Because obviously they just need somebody to look after their PCs for them. What I love is always the smile that when I say, and when they log into their new machine, and then I've already synced the OneDrive, they go, but what about, it's there.
It's there.
What? Oh, and I'm like, the fact that in the early days of when I first set this machine up for you, and I'm thinking about one particular elderly lady, she's lovely, but I made sure that I went, can I set you up on OneDrive, please? And she went, I've no idea what you're talking about, Andy. Should I be doing it? I went, let me just say yes. I did it all for her, signed it in, free account, blah, blah, and I just look, OneDrive syncing. Yeah, I go into a new machine, bingo. Yeah. The same with iTunes. iTunes, to be fair to it, it does the same as well. So if you're an Apple person, but you use a Windows machine, you download the iCloud drive, and it synchronizes everything to the desktop. So it's really, really, really important for those people at home as well. As long as you've got it all saved in the cloud, migrating to a machine should be a case of, okay, fine, it's an expense.
You just log into everything,
you just basically log into it. Yeah. The one thing that, again, I would like to make sure that people understand is that I had a customer. I would like to say I'm now global. I have a customer. I have a customer that is Dan safe. However, due to geographical and friendship relations, I spoke to a gentleman in South Africa the other day.
Fantastic.
Yeah. and one of my machines is in South Africa.
Well, there you go. But technically, one of your machines was in New Zealand with me last year.
It technically was, so I am global.
You were global because I was working on it.
And we teamed and we zoomed and we had a podcast.
Zoomed and I still had to run
the business.
I was focusing on my holiday, but I still had to drop in to run the business.
You said about every other day it was like an hour in the morning just to catch up.
Yeah, just every night. Yeah, just
but it works, doesn't it?
Yep.
So what was really nice is that the machine, one of my machines, is over in South Africa now. Due to the silly expense of me buying a machine in the UK and shipping it to South Africa, we arranged for this gentleman to purchase his own machine. He then got it on board on the internet, gave me a ring, and we went through some steps. The first thing and the first hurdle that I hit is that unintentionally, not his fault, he'd purchased Windows 11 Home.
Yeah, you want the Pro version.
Do you know why you want the Pro version?
Because Andy tells you to.
Let's move on.
Because of BitLocker, actually.
Because of BitLocker.
I do listen to you. Yeah, that's the encrypting your hard disk bit, right?
Yeah, basically. So if you do have a Windows Home machine, BitLocker is deemed not really necessary, and I do get that. I still personally would buy professional for home. My machine at home, my gaming machine, it's Pro. Yeah, because I get that extra security, that extra functionality. And if anybody stole anything, do you know what? I'm at least a little bit side of things. It is more expensive, but end of day. For home users, it's not that necessary. But because he purchased Windows Home, I went, really sorry, we're going to have to upgrade you to
So if
Pro.
you're a business, get Pro. And
the word home gives it away.
Yes. A little bit.
Just a little bit, you know what I mean? It's just like, why would you buy? And the downside...
They'd buy it because it's cheaper.
Thank you, my friend.
They just see the
That's
price.
what people do.
Yeah.
They go home, they go to the shop, they go to Curry's, whatever, really nice people there. What annoys me, sadly, about these brands and stores is that when you go in and go, I'm buying a computer for business, they still sell you the Windows Home version. It just frustrates me. But it is what it is.
Yep.
If you're going out there and if you're thinking about either setting up your new business or if you are, you're not effectively one of my customers, A, why aren't you? B,
sign up.
B, sign up. But C, please, make sure you get a Windows 11
Yeah,
professional.
I think the key thing is going for the encryption. So if you're on Apple devices, you can install that as when you set it up, because do you want to encrypt your hard disk? Press yes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. What happens when we are looking at a machine? So here's a question for you, Adam. That's good. This is good. Upgrade your business PC from Windows 10 to Windows 11 because your Windows 10, your current machine cannot be upgraded. What are you going to do with the old machine? It's still a decent machine.
There are ideas.
Like?
Repurposing it.
Which is exactly what we've got
there. I can
there,
only
mate.
see the top of it. But yeah, it doesn't mean it's done. So I've got a couple of options. I mean, I've got what is it? It's an AMD AM4 chip.
So it's a decent...
Or is it, what's the latest AMD?
7.
Right. So yeah, it's
Ryzen.
it's a Ryzen 5, I think it is.
So it's decent.
It's a decent. So there's still life in the technology there. But I need to work out what I do. One option, I am still using Zorin at home on my other laptop.
Because it is so good.
Yeah, that is the Linux. It's free, open source. I've installed Zorin, and do you know what's great? But there was a HP laptop that was struggling to run Windows.
Yeah.
It was just dying. It couldn't run Teams very well. It couldn't do this. So what I did was I've reinstalled it with Zorin, stripping back Windows. Runs great.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, does the job, and it's so handy to do. So that's an option.
Yeah.
Looking at Linux distribution.
Yeah.
The other bit is I need to understand what parts I've got, because there's a 2070 graphics card in there. So that, in theory, could come out of the machine and go into the new machine.
Now, very good point. No, good point.
Or not.
You could buy, spec up a Windows 11 machine and taking into account your graphics card, you could go, can the graphics card move from there to there? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So therefore, the cost of your Windows 11 machine comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can repurpose pieces of hardware, memory, hard drives, things like that. We can repurpose them, but a graphics card is an ideal because it's just unplug,
it's unplug,
replug.
Plug in.
It really is quite easy.
There's a few components in there that I can make the assessment of in terms of, do we redistribute that into the new machine?
Yeah.
Or do I look at, The questions I've got are: do I just buy a brand new machine or build a new machine,
Yeah.
standalone, and then look at the other bit and going, right, what is because do you know what the limit, this TPM thing, is that on the motherboard or what?
The TPM is version 2 on the motherboard, and it's built in. You cannot physically unplug. You cannot physically buy an additional TPM chip and plug
So
it in.
in theory,
the motherboard is.
I could buy a new motherboard.
You could buy a new motherboard.
Plug everything back into the motherboard.
Absolutely. What tends to happen with the motherboard upgrades is that the chipset, will not be compatible.
Yeah.
So I remember upgrading my gaming PC a couple of years back, and in the end, I was like, I'm practically buying everything new. Because whilst the case and the SSDs I could repurpose, the motherboard, I was going, okay, well, that's DDR3 memory.
Yeah.
This is only compatible DDR4 upwards. So I'm like, okay, I'll eBay that memory to get the money to buy the eBay.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm getting.
Yeah, 100%.
There are certain things.
So whether I make that assessment in terms
Absolutely.
of what can I do, because it's not, we can certainly deploy that machine in other ways. It's not a dead duck. So I suppose I need to work out what I need to replace on it. And whether I just wholesale get a new machine to do that job, and then in the background, because like I said, the technology in there is 5 years old, so I could spend money and do it, but I'll only have to upgrade it again in a few years' time.
And there is the downside to upgrading. You will save cost here, but eventually you will get to a point where you've gone, you maybe get 2 to 3, may I say, more life out of it, 2 years life out of it, before I guarantee you there'll be a Windows potential upgrade that will just go, I'm really sorry, this technology motherboard is now 8 years old. I can't do it.
Yeah. So in my experience, the jump at this point would be new motherboard, new processor, new RAM, and then probably consolidate everything into that. I feel should take the rest of the parts.
Yeah, should do.
Yeah. So that's, and then run that on the same power supply in case, and then a new machine on the other side, and
Correct.
then we can repurpose and keep using that machine as we're going. But the other options are, you don't have to use Windows 10.
You don't have to use
You could
Windows
move
10.
to a Linux distribution, and you've done it. Now there are issues with that, and this, that, and the other, in terms of compatibility and what you need to use it for. But I think it's a case of thinking about that. So, yeah, they're my considerations at the moment.
That's very, very good. From a Zorin point of view, the reason that we love Zorin, and I recommended Zorin to you, is I think it's the closest match to Windows.
Yeah.
You
brilliant.
took to it very quickly.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
I actually
really good.
really enjoy using that laptop.
Yeah.
I could not stand booting that laptop when it had Windows on.
Yeah.
It was painful.
Yeah,
It works really well.
yeah, exactly.
We can do that.
For home users, the downside is if you do have children, you probably have limited yourself in terms of the games. So, for example, there isn't a Zorin version of Steam, which is a well-known popular gaming platform that me and you use. So it wouldn't be good for that.
Yeah.
So you can't do that.
But there's Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yeah, that
I've
is
got a friend
some
that uses that.
compatibilities with gaming, but again,
Yeah, I don't know enough Linux.
I don't know neither. But if we just concentrate temporarily on the home, repurposing it to Zorin is an absolutely beautiful way of doing it.
And that would be a great option for laptops, I think I'd say.
I think so.
Because laptops are so baked in, and yes, you can upgrade RAM, yes, you can change hard disk, but to change motherboard, if it was a laptop that I was dealing with, it is get rid of Windows, put Zorin on.
Yeah.
That would be my instant
Absolutely.
situation.
So the other thing that we can do is that we can repurpose the device by using other particular operating systems, like Ubuntu that you mentioned. But for a number of years, I ran an old desktop with a particular Ubuntu stroke Linux application, and I ran my Plex server, which is my media show device, and you see my Plex. It's beautiful graphical front end, and I can watch all of my legitimately purchased
I have a Plex
movies.
server.
Do you have a Plex server?
Yeah, it was. It's running right now.
Yeah.
It's got all my music on it.
Yeah.
And the device is the Raspberry Pi that I pinched off you.
You see.
It's running. Yeah.
It's running beautifully.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But I use that with all of my
that's an idea.
photographs, all of my music and movies, again, legitimately purchased. But again, it's just nice that you just click Plex, and instead of going to get the DVD with the Bourne movie or whatever it was, I've legitimately got the DVD. So I'm like, I'm allowed to rip this. And I put it on my Plex, and I'm like, there you go.
The other option is fill my tower full of hard disks and turn it into a true NAS.
Now, funnily enough,
deployment.
what's next door?
A true NAS deployment.
True NAS deployment.
Yep.
So that was an old Windows PC.
Yep.
You plugged a ton of hard drives into it. The true NAS operating system, again, maybe for the home user, with the greatest of respect, if you can read instructions and follow the instructions, it's not difficult.
Yep.
There are some things that mean you run across, like, a little bit of weirdness.
Weirdness.
But
Weirdness.
weirdness.
By clicking buttons,
Absolutely.
you kind of get there.
And a bit of Googling we got there. And that, I would probably say that is a 7-year-old machine that you're reutilising. And actually, how long have you had it now? A year and a bit?
Yeah.
And it is, how good is it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's just brilliant, isn't it?
Makes a difference. Makes such a difference.
Makes it so people could set up a NAS, and effectively what that would do for home is allow them to store their videos, their music, their film, whatever they want, and any other device can access this NAS.
You can also back up your phones to it.
You can back up your phones to it. It's honestly, there's loads of good things you can do with them. I want to touch on 2 things, and the first one is for a customer, they are using a particular piece of software that is only Windows 10 compliant.
Yep.
Okay, that's because the business who originally developed the software has now gone bust. Okay, to replace the machine, get this, to replace the machine that this operating system runs would probably cost the company, I think they said, in the region of £175,000.
Wow.
Yes. So they were just like, Andy, we can't upgrade it to Windows 11, sorry.
So my question would be, I'm going to jump in.
Go on.
Does it actually need to be connected to the internet?
Thank you very much, Adam. Round of applause. Because that's
Hey.
exactly what I've said.
Yeah, because if it's running on that software and it's doing a specific job in-house,
Yes.
I'm guessing that it doesn't need the internet. And therefore, if it's isolated from the internet,
Yes.
no problem, because it's not a security risk.
Correct.
In theory, if someone got in the building and physically there, but other than that,
Yeah.
it isn't an internet security risk.
No.
If it's not on the internet.
So they do need to access some of the files.
VLAN.
Thank you.
Thank you. Virtual Local Area Network, that stands for. So creating separate networks. It sits on its own network that has no access to the internet. It's therefore fenced off away from the internet.
Correct.
And they can buddy over to that network to go and get it.
They can do one way. They can put files onto the machine, but I've blocked them going out.
Wow.
Wow. Guess which hardware I'm using?
True NAS? No, I don't know.
No, the hardware.
Oh, are you using Synology?
Ubiquity.
No, Ubiquity, sorry, not Synology. I'm thinking my NAS. Yeah, I love
But
Ubiquity.
I'm using Ubiquity, and it was dead easy to go isolated in LAN, allow one file in, SMB, port 365, I'm guessing.
something like that.
Just like that. But basically, I went, I'm allowing you in, and I'm not allowing you out.
What I'd say is the Ubiquity stuff. This all sounds very complicated, but Ubiquity do a fantastic job of making it very simple.
Very
actually.
simple.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
it's quite graphical, so it can kind of show you the direction of travel and flow and things like that.
Now, the thing that the customers basically said, thank you very much, Andy. Lovely, great. You've saved us £125,000. I have had to send an email caveating it, going, come October the 25th, that machine will not get any updates anymore from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay? There is a risk.
It's a desert island.
We have mitigated the risk as much as we can by isolating it in its own VLAN, but nothing is ever that secure.
Yeah.
So I've literally caveated it. They've understood that. And what we've also done, and I think I've definitely asked you to do this, businesses should have a risk register. Right? A risk register is basically something that you identify within your business as a risk. Yeah. You've placed it for everybody to see, directors, and you have put in there the reasons why you're running that risk. So for my particular customer, again, naming no names, Windows 10 operating system to be constantly used. Reason why? Company that supplied the machine, operating system, have now gone bankrupt, bust, whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. Reasons, again, £125,000 to upgrade, physically, financially unviable for the company. Actions put in place, Windows 10, VLAN, blah, blah, blah. Spoken to Resilient Systems, Andrew Reid, blah, 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 has identified this.
Capital letters, do not hook it up to the internet.
Correct. Level of risk, I'd say it's medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've identified it. And next year, we will revisit it and go, okay.
And I think the thing there, like you said, next year they need to revisit it. They need to go, right, well, this machine's only going to last for so long.
Correct.
What are we doing in 5 years' time? Because
Correct.
you can't just keep installing Windows 10, an old version of Windows 10. Like, you need to sort of legacy plan what you do. So it's a fix now.
Yeah.
But you probably need to kind of go, that's it. Because I remember us talking, you were kind of going, you can help companies look at their budgets in terms of, because, I've got cameras, lenses, we've got all the kit in here. This all has a lifespan.
It does.
So at the moment, all the podcast stuff is all bought around a similar time. And each piece will go down at various points, if that makes sense. That's from the microphones to the cables to whatever. So it's kind of like you've got a budget in the back of your mind going, I will need to replace something at some point. I should probably start thinking about getting a fourth camera in that just lives in a box.
Yes, now that is an interesting one, because I had somebody the other day. Again, it wasn't a company. It was a good friend of ours. They purchased a machine, Windows 11 Home machine, and when they got it, they asked me, could I just help them upgrade? I update it and install things for them, which I was like, yeah, not a problem at all. I said it would take a couple of hours. It ended up taking a day. The reason being, the machine was, let's just say, on the shelf, and it was probably the earliest version of Windows 11. And I had to jump 3 times to get it to the latest version. And every time it was like an hour and a half upgrade.
Yeah, it takes time, though.
So, yes, a camera sitting on the shelf in a box is a great disaster recovery stroke backup plan, but in reality, you've purchased that device at a point in time.
Exactly.
And its time age is ticking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why we have 3 actually is not just so we've got one angle each and a wide angle, is also if we had to run this podcast on 2 cameras, we can.
Of course you can.
So I have got redundancy in this. But you kind of need, you're right. It's like, well, I should probably only buy the next camera when I get it, when I need it, if that makes sense, because I've got some resilience here. But it's interesting how technology is, because you're right. You could go, right, I need it now, and then it's like there's loads of updates to do.
It's crazy. So the final thing is, if it doesn't and cannot be upgraded, your only other choice is Wiko. So we've mentioned this before.
Wiko, that is, I've got some laptops next door I need to Wiko, by the way. I thought I'd bring them in.
That is a service we provide free of charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wiko is, you can't just chuck your computers in the bin.
You cannot. It's against the law.
Yeah. So just to make that clear, we keep saying that to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just chuck a computer. You shouldn't do that anyway, because if you've got hard disks and data.
Thank you. I was about to say that as well.
You've got a fancy machine that is certified to erase data, correct?
Correct. 500 blinking quid it cost me.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we do offer that service as a Wiko service. So by all means, Adam, bring your laptops in. We will ensure and scrub, which is the official slang term, scrub the hard drives. If they're SSDs, we can utilize them, like your TuneAs. Yeah. The memory, if it's a laptop, probably not.
These are done.
Yeah, these are done. And then we will officially Wiko them.
Yeah.
For those machines that, so let's say your home machine isn't going to be repurposed, just as an example.
Yep.
It's still a decent machine, and yes, it could run Zorin, but you were going, I've no use for it, Andy. Again, what we would do is we would try to repurpose that machine. So we could give it to a charity.
Yep.
Yeah. Or again, alternatively, let's say that you grew, Adam, you grew to 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people in the office next door, and you have somebody that is only web-based activity. Absolutely. Zorin is an absolute classic example of being able to go, buy the business version of Zorin. It'll run Teams on the web. It'll run Word, Web, Excel, Adobe. It'll do all of those things for you, and it'll be repurposable. So therefore, you don't have to think, oh my God, I'm just chucking this machine away. You can reutilize it.
Failing all that, it becomes a Minecraft server.
Failing all that becomes a Minecraft server, which is a great thing to do.
Or something.
Okay, so finally, because I'm aware of the time, what's the risks of ignoring the deadline? That's a question for you.
I think that's quite clear. I think just don't ignore that. It's easy to. Do you know what? It's only when it goes wrong when people realise that it was a risk. You should know it's a risk. Everyone knows that they should update their phone.
Absolutely.
My phone popped up this morning. We tried to update your phone last night, but you're full of you got no space. Again. Yeah, look at that. I need free space. And I'm like, my phone is just, this phone's getting to end of life.
Yeah.
Basically, I've had it, it's an iPhone 11 Pro, 2018, I think I've got it. But like you said, when you buy something and run it into the ground, I'm that guy. I'm not new phone every so often. To the point my kids are coming home from school and their mates have got better phones than I have, or more modern phones, shall we say. It's not about the device, but I think it's a case of you need to prioritise all your updates. That's with my phone, so I will be doing this tonight.
Yes.
To do that, I'm equally making sure that I'll be checking that my wife's phone's got space to update. And I'll be asking. I always ask her, like, my phone's just updated. Has yours asked you to update?
Yeah.
It's really important that we do it.
It is.
And it's easy to overlook and easy to overdone. But if you're ever sat working on emails, and we've all had it where you sat working and it goes, Microsoft Outlook needs to update. You're like, just logged on for the day's work. Just do it. Just go make a cup of tea. Get it to update. Take the emails on your phone if you need to while it updates, and then it's done. Because it's just security risk. It is only a problem when it happens. It's a risk until it happens. If something happened, it's then a problem. It's not like you could run Windows 10 for 3 more years.
You could do,
and you may not encounter a problem.
Yep.
And you may be absolutely fine.
Yep.
It's if you have that problem. And that's the issue. And some people are comfortable taking that risk. But I would say from a business standpoint, if you are dealing with data and this, that, and the other, you've got responsibilities. I renewed my Information Commissioner's Office registration the other day.
Yep.
If you don't know what that is, Google ICO, Information Commissioner's Office. They regulate all data protection stuff in the UK. They've got loads, and it's not just them trying to slap people on the wrist.
No.
They do that, but they've actually got all the guidance and all the information on there. But if you lost data, you've got to reply to the ICO. So you say, hey, I've lost some data. They'd probably go, what machine was it? You go, this one. What operating system was it running?
Windows 10.
Right, you're in breach because you haven't upgraded. You're then liable. Obviously liability, it depends where it comes. But if they're going, well, you've completely ignored the updates.
You have a responsibility. You hold data.
Yeah.
For customers' data, suppliers' data, you have a responsibility. If you choose to ignore that, then that's fine, but you will run the risk. And I always say this, you will get that person, whoever they are, will go, but I've been running Windows 7 for years without an issue. Fine, absolutely fine, but you're prepared to take that risk. I've run my car without an MOT and insurance.
Yeah, or a bald tyre.
Fine,
or whatever,
you're prepared to run that risk right up until the police catch you, or you have an accident, and then your insurance will just go invalid.
Yeah, it's either something going wrong or something like that. So it's not that the machine's useless.
Nope, absolutely.
There's loads of options on there. You need to back up your data. If you can't upgrade the machine to Windows 11, look at other options like Zorin. That is still being supported. That means it's getting updates.
Absolutely.
So that regularly updates when I turn on the machine, and it's not too hefty. It's not laborious. It's a really good solution, and I'm really impressed with it because I'm like, great. So when the kids have got more schoolwork to do, at the moment, the primary, but when they go to secondary and they've got more work to do, I'm like, Zorin laptops all the way, like repurposing, because if it's just the word processing element and all of that, I'm like, fantastic, we can...
Most of the schools nowadays use Google, and that's all web-based, my friend, so those Zorin laptops are brilliant.
Yeah, so it's not that it's a dead duck, but do something about it. Either upgrade, recycle, donate, but do it appropriately because you don't want people just taking your data. I would argue if you're going to donate it, take the hard disks out and get them disposed of separately, properly, WeCode, wiped, all of that stuff.
We offer that service.
Yeah, and then obviously those machines, you could just say you just need to get some hard disks. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with saying to people, just get yourself some hard disks. So, it's only a problem when it happens.
Absolutely.
But they're telling you now, sort it out. So sort it out.
Yeah, but so I thought it was good to do that. Now, the challenge is, remember our good friend Mark?
Yes,
yeah.
Mr. Wade.
Based upon this, he changed his SSID for his Wi-Fi. Yeah, exactly. So, challenge to Mark, if you've got a machine that's not compatible with Windows 11, I expect you to text Adam and go, I've just upgraded to Zorin.
Might need a little bit of help with that. But we can do that. But it's, there are really good videos on YouTube and instructions on how to do it. And
it's not that difficult.
But this is a really good solution, actually.
Yeah,
Zorin.
It really is. It's a fantastic. Well, there you go, my friend. So, what are you doing for the weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? Swimming tonight. Swimming lessons, kids.
Good.
But I swim as well. So
I must admit, sorry to you sound and look much better. Did you get over that little, last week you were a little bit...
I've been training.
Is this for your triathlon?
Yeah, I've swam Monday and Wednesday.
Nice.
A mile apiece. So that's 2 miles. Yep. Getting back into it. Getting the limbs moving.
Yeah.
I was out running last night.
How far?
I was out running on Tuesday. I'm more going based on time at the moment.
Right, okay, so for 20 minutes?
27 minutes was... In fact, I got my Garmin watch for the birthday, and it's quite interesting. Like, if I put on, just a side segue, if I go on my running mode now and press run, it actually tells me what it suggests I should do. Yeah. So I've just been sort of following those. So it's been telling me to run at 11-minute pace, which is, steady. Really steady.
Yeah.
And do 27 minutes, which I'm grateful for, because I set off going, I feel really good, and then I slowly grind to a halt.
60 minutes later.
Yeah. So I am taking this triathlon, raising money for Team Luke, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'm taking it very seriously.
Episode, positive.
Been doing a few weeks with that. So yeah, and then no rugby, family day tomorrow. And then Sunday, kids rugby.
Kids rugby, playing or training?
Game. They've got a game. So I'll be refereeing potentially. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a spring weekend.
Yeah.
The weather's nice at the moment and stuff. So yeah, what about you?
We were planning to go to Cardiff.
Right.
To see some good friends. Unfortunately, my good friend Carmen is not feeling too well at the moment. Hope you get better this week. So we canned that. Which actually is quite nice, because obviously, as you know, I've been like 3 weekends on the bounce.
Yeah, I know. You're
down in London and
dapper. I'm going to get your social media sorted out today.
Yes, I emailed you all of that, so that's very kind.
Yeah.
That's been that. So actually, do you know, this weekend we've just going to go, do you know what?
And breathe.
And breathe. The garden pond needs a little bit of work to it.
We're in that time. I'm going to cut the grass.
I don't cut the grass. It's not my thing. But our gardener will be around shortly. But certainly the pond... I didn't realise there was so much effort. Bless it. And I'm not arguing, by the way. But the pond, we've got a pump. It pumps it to a filter that's got a UV light in it that then pumps it to a box. And the box has filters in it to allow the water to flow down the bottom to get all the sediments out of it. You've got to regularly change the filters. The filters are minging because obviously it's all the muck and stuff like that and smelly. That's this weekend. So I'll be going... We've got some new ones, though. They're on order. They've arrived. Yes, they arrived last week. So that'll be doing that. And then Michelle's going to do her, what she calls the spring clean for the equinox. She does the house from top to bottom, bless her.
Is it clocks go back this weekend? Forward, whichever way. Spring, forward, fall backwards. Is it this weekend?
I have no idea. Ask your Google. Hey, Google, when do the clocks go back? Clocks go back on the last Sunday of October each year at 25.
It's forward.
Oh, it's forward. Stop.
We're not doing very well, are we?
When do the clocks go forward?
Here we go.
This is great podcasting.
Yeah. So,
United Kingdom, the clocks go forward on the last Sunday of March.
Last
Sunday. 2025, the clocks will go forward on Sunday, March 30th.
March 30th.
Another week.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
side project.
Oh, yes.
So, while we're on Google, just to segue probably to the end of the episode, but Mum came home, obviously, following her stroke. We got her home a few weeks ago. But I've set up the room, because obviously her mobility is a bit affected at the moment.
Yeah.
So she can turn the light on and off.
Oh.
TV.
Get in.
Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Do you know what? As I think I've said on the podcast before, when the very first she came out and I started doing this to all my house, my dad was like, you and technology. Yeah. It's just using technology for technology's sake. A month later, can you do it in my house?
Yeah, exactly.
So he comes on in the morning, Alexa, turn the lights on, turn the computer on, turn the TV on, turn the Xbox on.
Scratch my back.
Yeah, no, honestly, he absolutely loves it now.
Yeah, so I've done initial things. So it's hooked up for the TV, light, and then obviously you can play radio, music and stuff.
So just again, touching on that, I went one step further. Let's just say we have a device in the house that is driven by a proper light switch. You know, the click button?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, can never get that controlled by Alexa.
Yeah.
With a smart bot device, Okay, the smart bot has. I'm
Finger-
curving my
he's
finger.
doing a robot finger.
A robot
so-
finger. It basically not super glues, but it sticks
Yeah.
to the bottom of the light switch. So think of a light switch that you would turn on. It sticks to the bottom, and then it's controlled by Alexa. Okay.
So it does on and off.
Well, it does on. Okay, and then the hook itself has got a tiny, small indent, a little in-cut. Okay. And a piece of wire comes in the box, and on the other side of the switch, effectively, you stick this pad with this little bit of wire.
Yeah.
Okay, and you attach it to the hook. So imagine the switch is in that
I
position.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, it clicks like that to press it.
Yeah.
And then when this pulls back, the wire kicks in
And pulls it out.
And it pulls
Oh,
it out.
brilliant.
So we've now got what could not have been Alexa controlled. We've now got it Alexa controlled. So I looked at this thing and I went, "That's genius."
Sold.
Sold. 25 quid. Bought on Amazon.
All my light switches.
Oh, yeah,
Robot
not
fingers.
like that, but because obviously I do that. But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those devices where you do have it's a switch in the wall,
Yeah, you wanna isolate it.
I cannot do that. Absolutely, click, click. I'm like, that is so clever.
There we go. We should probably do smart home devices.
There's a good opportunity. I'll tell you what. I'll let you do that one.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You do that for not next week because I think I've got some guests
Yeah, I'm trying to
coming.
remember what we are next week.
And whenever you're on a holiday. Anyway,
Have a good weekend.
have a good weekend, my friend.
Take care,
everybody.
everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.